This is Marilyn Lohman, Service Hydrologist at WFO Pendleton. I'll be showing some slides of the current snowpack and what this may mean for the coming year's water supply. Measurements of the snow water equivalent, or amount of water being held in the snowpack, were taken on February 1st for the various basins across the state of Washington. From this map produced by the Natural Resource Conservation Service, amounts range from near normal over the lower Snake Basin, including southeast Washington, to near 125% in normal over the lower Yakima Basin, with amounts near normal for the upper Yakima Basin. We'll look at some individual stations within these areas now. These charts show the snow water equivalent, or water being held in the snow for the water year October through September. The blue line is the maximum observed, while the red line is the minimum. Green line is average. Using these charts, we can see how the snow water equivalent accumulates throughout the winter and spring and compare it to average. The Touchet Snotel site is in the Walla Basin around 5,500 feet. Looking at the black line, we can see that this site saw accumulations through much of the month and is slightly above normal. The Sassy Ridge Snotel site is located in the upper Yakima Basin at 4,200 feet. Looking at the black line, this site saw accumulating snow throughout much of January and continues to be near normal. The Bumping Ridge Snotel site is at 4,600 feet in the central Washington Cascades. Looking at the black line, this site has gotten steady accumulations of snow throughout January and is slightly above normal. Across Oregon, looking at the snow water equivalent map from the Natural Resource Conservation Service, as of February 1st, the snowpack remains between 110 and 120% of normal over the Blue and Walla Mountains, while it's near 140% of normal in the Grande Basin. Along the Cascades, the snowpack has decreased slightly, with amounts from 100 to 120% of normal. We'll look at some individual sites across the region in the next several slides. In the lower Deschutes Columbia Basin area, Clear Lake Snotel is at elevation 3,500 feet. Looking at the black line, the current year observation, this fairly low elevation site continues to see accumulation during January and is near normal. A higher elevation site from the Cascades, the Mount Hood test site, is at 5,400 feet and saw a steady snowpack through much of January, but is still slightly below normal. In the upper Deschutes Basin, Three Creek Meadows Snotel is at about 5,600 feet. Looking at the solid black line, we can see that this site had steady accumulation from mid to late January and is near normal. For the Grande Basin, we can look at the Blue Mountain Springs site at 5,900 feet. This location was steady during the early part of January and then saw accumulating snow again from mid to late January and is slightly above normal. In the Umatilla Basin in the Blue Mountains, we can look at the High Ridge site at 4,900 feet. Looking at the black line, we can see that this site saw little accumulation during the first part of January, but some fairly strong accumulations throughout the rest of the month and is above normal. In the Grand Ronde Basin, the Moss Springs Snotel site is at 5,800 feet. Looking at the black line, this site continues to see a good accumulation of snow throughout the month and is near normal for this time of year. The Northwest River Forecast Center uses Ensemble Streamflow Prediction, or ESP, generated forecasts as the official water supply method. The 30-year runoff normals covering the years 1981 to 2010 are being used. New ESP forecasts will be published on the Northwest River Forecast Center's website daily. For updated forecasts and more information on the ESP forecasts, please see the River Forecast Center's website at the address given. This map from the Northwest River Forecast Center shows a snapshot of the water supply forecast for the coming season. We can see that most of northeast Oregon is expected to see 75 to 90% of normal water supply, with 90 to 125% of normal expected in south central and southeast Washington. The Snake River Basin of southern Idaho continues to have the lowest amounts, with only 50 to 70% of normal water supply expected. For the Yakima River system, we'll look at the Yakima River near Parker. And looking at this plot, the solid green line is the 30-year normal. The box plots show the entire range of forecast values, with the blue dot the 50th percentile, or most likely value. We'll be using the 50th percentile and comparing it to normal. The volume forecast for the Yakima River near Parker for the period April through September is expected to be slightly above normal at 113% of normal. The forecasted volume of water, the blue dot, for the Grande River near Troy is expected to be slightly below normal at 88% of normal. These forecasts take into account the forecasted precipitation for the next 10 days and then normal precipitation throughout the rest of the period. For the Umatilla River at Pendleton for the period April through September, the volume forecast continues to decline slightly to 82% of normal. This forecast does take into account normal precipitation expected to occur throughout the rest of the period. The Columbia River at the Dalles can be an indicator for the entire Columbia Basin. Once again, we see the average plotted in green with the most likely value, the blue dot. The volume for the April through September period is expected to be 94% of normal. The previous seen plots and additional water supply locations are available in an interactive form on the Northwest River Forecast Center's website at the address listed on the concluding slide. Looking ahead, the 3-month outlook from the Climate Prediction Center for March, April, and May calls for above normal precipitation with equal chances of above normal, normal, or below normal precipitation. The latest drought monitor shows improving conditions over Washington and Oregon, with generally only drier than normal conditions left in eastern Washington. Oregon has also seen improvement, but longer-term shortages in the south will take more time to see improvement. Conditions and impacts from the drought are assessed weekly for both short and long-term drought conditions and impacts. For more information on the unseasonably dry and drought conditions, both here in the Northwest and across the country, please visit the National Integrated Drought Information System webpage at the address above. You can view the drought monitor, look at current and forecast conditions, as well as impacts from the drought, and also find resources relating to drought. Please join me again in March for an update on the snowpack and expected water supply. If you have any questions or comments, please contact me by email or phone. Thank you.